I'm not sure. I mean, it's Essen Steelworks, so anything could happen. It's not really that much of a Axis or Allies map. Anyway, it is a 4v4, as you can see. The map is Essen Steelworks. We have on one side Umbegon, who's probably Umbekant, MSAF. We have 513288006 playing as the OKW. We have another OKW of Hope, and then we have Galleon Squad 422. Our good Malaysian buddy, he's playing as the OKW, and yeah, so that's 3 OKWs and 1 Wehrmacht versus, man, I do like that screenshot potential, so give me that screenshot. Versus, we have Zurogr, USF. We have John Wang playing as the Soviets. Then we have RGR, I'm guessing that is. Probably just, you know, it's probably supposed to be Cyrillic. So RGR, who's the USF. Come on, tell me. Yeah, he's from Belarus, so that's definitely Cyrillic. And the last but not least is Kapralchucha, playing as the Soviets. First engagement on the left side. Or actually, no. Both on the left side and on the right side, we have some Sturmpioneers meeting the first Allied units. And this Sturmpioneer will need to run the hell away, as the Americans did get into the workshop building. And look at that amount of suppressing firepower. Just, you know, absolutely obliterating the Sturmpower squad and sending them home. So that's quite good. The Volksgrenadiers that were here, wow, wiped out. That was pretty big. Still though, the Volksgrenadiers that were here, for some reason there was one man that was way ahead of the rest, and so now the second part of the squad is coming in. We have some rear echelon troops capping the fuel point, but they're getting flanked, or rather the Germans are getting flanked from multiple angles, and all the directional cover is not really going to be working out once these Americans and Soviets get into position. Conversely, on the right-hand side, it seems like it's the Germans that are putting in the work and pushing back the Allies. So we have some assault engineers coming in from RGR trying to sort of stem the tide of Nazis, and they're going to have a pretty good success as long as it's only Volksgrenadiers that they face in close range. But once the Sturmpiles get in, it's probably not going to be as easy for them. So obviously, one thing that's going really in favor of the Americans is this fence over here, this concrete wall. It's preventing the German units from sort of helping each other out. That's gonna be enough almost to win, but one of the rifleman squads goes down, and there's just too much German infantry on this side to deal with. That's because we have that Kapralchucha had gone for a sniper, so it was mostly the American player facing off alone against multiple Germans, while his ally was not really pulling his own weight along. He only had one engineer squad in the fight. We have his penal unit just off the field. But yeah, his sniper had been caught out earlier. Notice his HP is very low, so yeah, that's not exactly what the Americans and the Soviets had envisioned for themselves. It seems like on the left side they're gonna slightly recover, but yeah, the map is now split among the players. Blai Rasha, Rash Biblin. Yes, also hi. Hi Paz. I vote Allies, cough cough. You vote Easy 8. Why are so many people voting? I don't like democracy. Anyway, let's do some fast forwarding because this is going to be a long game. And pretty much the same things are happening. So we have the Germans slowly but surely trying to crawl back to the left side, and you know, to limited success. The right side we have that the snipers being kind of a liability. But this is a lot of Allied troops. So they're slowly pushing back the Germans as well. It seems like both sides are seeing some quite heavy fighting. It is really mostly down to the amount of infantry that is on the field for either side in these fights, it seems. Eventually, the Germans are able to rout most of the Allies from the right, while on the left, you know, when all of the American and Soviet stuff comes back over from the base, the Germans can't really break through here either. So yeah, it seems like Both of these fights kind of decided by numbers. And yeah, mostly a stalemate. Obviously, everyone's going to be sending their troops back home, back to base, to get themselves replenished. And whoever comes back faster is going to have a pretty good advantage. Obviously, the allies have a bit of an advantage on the right side in terms of the sniper presence. Because the sniper is just going to be picking off these Volksgrenadiers with no counter. Because we have 2 OKW on the right side. And since there's no Wehrmacht, there's no counter sniping. They could be going for cube wagons, but they didn't do that. Well, we do have a cube wagon from Galleon Squad, but only now coming on the field. So, yeah, and now we have a lot of Pinos as well. So, might not be the easiest thing to do for the cube wagon to get past these nasty Pinos and snipe the sniper. It seems like the OKW players are trying to get their trucks set up, you know, somewhat close to the front line to shorten their sort of retreat distance and have a little bit of extra field presence. That would be great. That would be great, of course, with the medic station. That's going to be good. Then we also have a mechanized regiment from Galleon Squad, so that means that maybe he's going to go for a Lux, maybe for a Stuka. The fact he isn't building a Lux, yeah, no, now he's building a Lux. Okay, good. So that's fine. We have 513288006, who hasn't built too much, but he does have the battle group headquarters setting up right now. It seems like actually Umbagon is able to push in very well. He's got a couple of mortars and a half-track to reinforce on the field. Notice that he did not go for the flame half-track. Instead, he is keeping his half-track normal so that he can reinforce on the field and just using flamer engineers instead to have that anti-building and anti-infantry superiority. The only thing, honestly, that could be added to this combination is a machine gun, because right now he's kind of having to rely on grenadiers for anti-infantry damage and, of course, on flamethrowers, but those only last, you know, however long they manage to. And so having an MG for the suppression platform might be great, but look at those mortars go. That's some very, very nasty stuff. Obviously, the mortars are going to be excellent at dealing with the Maxim and everything else. So, yeah, I can definitely understand that combination. Good play coming in on the left. And look at how he's drawing enemy forces. You can see on the minimap, there's just all these troops moving in. So he's already defeated the Soviet player mostly. And now it is the Americans that are trying to move in. Look at this, great usage of the building. He's using this Grenadier as sort of a shield, but oh man, there's so many flamers, he needs to run away. He's using it as kind of a shield so that the rest of his units can reinforce off the half-track quickly enough, but looks like he's gonna lose one of these pioneers. No, they get behind the buildings and the trees, so they survive. We have a massive, massive American infantry push. They're definitely trying to move in and getting some anti-tank grenades on the half-track. With the bazooka from the captain, that's definitely going to be enough. But the mortars are slowly but surely picking away at the American and Soviet force that's attacking them. So yeah, while Umbagon is forced back, you know, due to sheer weight of numbers, he doesn't lose anything and he causes a lot of damage and a lot of disruption. So that was very good. This also allows the Lux in the middle to have a bit of a free reign over these basically counterless Pinos. They have absolutely no way of dealing with the Lux because they haven't been upgraded with any PTRSs. And yeah, they're just taking in the face. Look at this, Lux rack up the XP counters. He's already almost Ved 1, so that's obviously quite good. Here comes some bazookas on assault engineer squads. Not really sure about this. And yeah, this is allowing the Germans more time to set up on the right side and slowly creep forward with their defensive network. Also, Numbers Man is coming in from the left center, sort of, you could call it center left. And yeah, so forces back the ambulance. He's going to be forced back in return, I think, by all of these conscripts. Look at how many conscripts, though. They're all in one place. And yeah, so the Sturmpile has to run away. Half-track. You could say that this is a mortar half-track. I do love how he's transporting his mortars with the half-track so that they can be in a better place at a better time. Right now, it seems like the Soviets and the Americans on the left are kind of going for the infantry blob, whereas their opponents are a little bit more considerate with what they're doing. It's kind of working out for the Allies to get that infantry blob, but it's not going to forever. Once the Germans get some serious suppression platforms, you know, we can already see a couple of MG34s out of numbers, man. It's gonna start to be very difficult for the Allied blob to really push forward and get their dominance felt. Meantime, it seems like the right side we have some turtling from the Germans, but also some sort of overtures towards pushing for the center. The Allies have completely redeployed towards the center and have left almost nothing to the right side. So checking out the overall sort of strategies that these players are going for, we have that the Germans, we have Umagon with the half-track play, and he's gone for mechanized mechanized doctrine. So that means that he's going to have the spotting scopes and then the command Panzer IV and the howitzer. Howitzer obviously quite useful as a whole, especially if you're facing certain Soviet doctrines. Then he's also gone for a support armor core. So we might see a Panzer IV out of him soon. Numbers man still hasn't really done anything too strange. Just saving up fuel. Hope is going for the Schwerer Panzer quarters, and that might mean a Panzer IV soon. While Galleon Squad is yeah, he's got a couple of Sturmpios and a couple of Volksgrenadiers, along with a Lux. And still a lot of fuel in the bank, so not really too much. So for the Germans, we have a couple of players going for the mid game and a couple of players going for the late game. In the Allied camp, we have Kapral Chucha with obviously guard motor coordination. Guard motor coordination, which means T-34-85s later, but now we have guards and Pinos, all of them getting some upgrades on their way, so that's obviously going to improve the Soviet infantry strength, but that's a lot of munitions, and also by kind of blobbing them up, he's exposing himself. And then we have RGR, who is the guy that spanned the assault engineers. I'm not really quite sure what he wants to do. Might be going for, I don't know, he went lieutenant, so he might be going for the major to get out some M10s or something, who knows, or maybe Shermans. And then Zhang Wang is T-70. That's an okay choice, especially on the left side with all the good sort of mortar play that can be used to hunt down the support weapons. And then we have Zurugr. Zurugr has gone for the captain, and he's just getting out some flamer whatchamacallits, some flamer rear echelon troops. That's obviously rifle company in play. Quite good. We have the Lux on the right side that's going to be heading in to deal with the T-70, hopefully, because the T-70 took a nasty engine damage. Can the Germans finish him off? And yeah, Lux is going in. That should be enough. Here comes the 20mm rounds to the rear, along with the Panzerfaust. That's dead. Also, the A half-track is in a pretty dangerous position because of the Lux. Lux is going to be trying to flank, but he sees a whole of a load of PTRSs, and the PTRSs wipe him out with extreme prejudice. The A half-track, in the meantime, manages to sit up in a good position and starts to open up on the Nazis, absolutely obliterating one of those Volksgrenadier squads. The Germans are being pushed all the way back to their battle group headquarters. Nasty, you know, smoke bombs are going to prevent the Allies from coming in too aggressively on them. But it's also going to cover their troops, you know, retreating out of there with stolen loot. MG42 goes to the Allies. The half-track from Umagon is trying desperately to evacuate the Grenadiers out of the arc of fire of this A half-track. They do get behind there. They are going to start to pop in with their MG42s and their Vet-2, almost destroying one of those rifleman squads. In fact, it does destroy one of the rifle squads with a combination of rifle grenade and MG42 fire. The AT gun goes down from a flank from the Sturm Pioneer squad, and yep, it is going to be stolen by the Germans. So essentially everyone kind of exchanging exchanging weapons, but the overall engagement kind of goes to the Germans as they do manage to defend their own battle quarters. Also, it seems like we have in the center a very bad fight for the Soviets. They're being suppressed by this MG42, and their A half-track support is having to run away slowly but surely because of the German infantry just moving in. One thing that, yep, that's what I was thinking. I did see a Raketenwerfer earlier on, and so I'm thinking that this half-track is not going to have an easy time. First shot lands, but it's not enough to kill it, and he did not move up close enough to get a second shot after he retreated. So this was kind of a mistake from Galleon Squad. Galleon Squad is trying to push up his infantry, but he's taking some suppression from the A half-track, I'm guessing. Grenades falling in on his troops, but it's not enough to stop the onslaught of Grenadiers and Sturm Pioneers. So yeah, the Germans have to continue putting up pressure, and they do so as the A half-track is nailed in the end by that Raketenwerfer. Very good. Allies on the back foot, and that's why exactly the Germans really need to put up the pressure. We have a Stug coming in from Umbagan, along with the half-track moving in with the Grenadiers being used for once in its intended purpose of troop transport. The Allies trying to counterattack are going to run straight into an MG42. MG42 is going to be obscured by the Lieutenant's smoke, but the Lieutenant is taking some nasty LEIG fire, and the troops that were moved in here by Umbagan are going to be enough probably to stem the tide of America. One thing that the Germans were not able to do in the last few engagements, despite their good victories, was retake the left side. We have that one squad is coming in to get some harassment done, but it's not gonna be enough to take the VP or the field points, so most of those very important points, VIPs, on the left side are going to stay in Allied hands and give them sort of a chance to come back into this. Nice smoke bomb usage is going to prevent those PTRSs from firing on the Stug or the half-track, but they do not really take advantage of it. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. And I'm guessing that the squad needs to run away. Ooh, is that a... what is that? Major artillery? Yep, that must be major artillery. Major artillery not going to be the most effective thing ever. So the Allied blob is actually starting to push back the Germans slightly, but we have some Obersoldaten ready to receive them. They're gonna die. There's just too much Allied infantry, but they're gonna keep the Allied infantry in place for a bit, along with the MG, and that's gonna be it's gonna be nasty. Because look at these support guns just racking up the damage. We have almost Vet 1 for one of them, Vet 0 for the second one, but it's gonna start to get some veterancy now. Also, the mortars dropping their 81mm shells on the sniper as well. Needs to run away before he dies. Despite their good successes on the center, it still seems like the Germans are having some problems holding the left side flank. Oh, actually, the Stuka's coming in, and that was definitely a mistake, but no anti-tank grenades were thrown, so no capitalization on that. That's pretty good for the Germans. Not good for the Allies at all. They could have probably dealt some damage, but I don't think that it would have died. There isn't really anything that can follow up on the AT grenades in close vicinity. The Stuka, however, is now on the field, and the Allies are going to need to start thinking about its effect. So here comes the first barrage on an MG. Not really the most... oh no, it did wipe out the MG. Not bad. Still, perhaps not the highest value target he could have chosen. Gotta love the Germans. I don't like democracy, Mussolini. Hey Momo, now I'll talk, remind me later about your replay. It's hard for USA without resilient infantry. Well, I mean, USA's infantry by default is relatively resilient, to be honest. I think you mean the... oh yeah, you do mean Erger here. The man without the riflemen and with the assault engineers. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, assault engineers are just really... really squishy. I'm not sure why, but they just like to die a lot. RGR went for an unconventional first vehicle. It is the M8 Scott. I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of the M8 Scott, though, considering what the Germans are fielding, and that is a lot of troops in a condensed, you know, sort of area. Yeah, the M8 Scott is going to do its job, and it's going to do it well. As you can see, already racking up 3 kills and forcing this OKW push to retreat. That was well done. Wiping out the first unit. Umbagan, wow, Umbagan is going really heavy on that tier 3, and actually he's even gone for a second half-track. The first half-track he's upgraded with spotting scopes from his mechanized doctrine, so I am guessing that what he's going to be trying to do is get another half-track, perhaps the flame project. Wait a second. No, okay, it should still have reinforceability, even with the spotting scopes. And doesn't Veg Free give them? Yeah, look at that, improved vehicle sighting. So perhaps, oh yeah, I do love this. It's a slight, it's not as good as the 222 map hacks, but it's definitely some map hacks. And oh my goodness me, that's a lot of Soviets. Look at this blob coming in. Oh my god. That's absolutely obliterating all the German infantry, but that was a sacrifice well worth it. Oh my god. So those Volksgrenadiers keeping these troops fixed in place for the Stuka barrage to come in and drop the hammer down on them. T-34-76 trying to move in to destroy the Ostwind will go down to the might of the Stug. Seems like, however, the half-tracks and the Grenadiers really need to run away because there's just too much Allied infantry. They need to run away now. Okay, so they managed to get out, mostly, but they're still in a bad situation. One of the mortars is stolen. Is that going to be taken away? No, most likely reclaimed by the Nazis. Okay, another attempt at doing something. Looks like on the right side, a lot of Soviets died here too. Not sure from what. Not the Sturmtiger. Not the support guns. Yeah, looks like mines, honestly. Those look like mines. But we do have the Sturmtiger from 513288006. And that's a nasty unit. However, it needs to be careful because it's right now without any support, and there's an easy 8 here. So yes, it seems like the Allies are well, they're losing most of these engagements. They need to start. That's a Katyusha. I love the Sturmtiger. It's just my favorite thing. They need to start making use of their mobility, honestly. They've got a lot of mobile units, whereas the Germans are going for the more stationary play. They need to make sure that that mobile play is brought in with the force of 1,000 suns. They need to really start to harass the right side. The Germans are finally harassing the left, although those Obersoldaten did hit a mine. And yeah, harassing the right side would really help draw a lot of this German infantry away from the center. And that would, you know, very, very easily help with the problems that the Germans have been facing. Nice Katyusha barrage. Stuka replies, but it's not enough. And yeah, you can just see the difference right now in terms of the front line between the Germans and the Allies. The Germans are much more concentrated, whereas the Allies are constantly having to move back and replenish. So yes, that really does. Oh my god. Oh, he thought that they were coming in. That's so sad. He thought that the enemy was coming in closer to him, but no, he wasn't. So the Sturmtiger fails. 136 Jackson is on the field for Erger. You know, from the guy that was constantly getting destroyed, he's really starting to increase his value, really, thanks to this M8A1 howitzer mortar carriage. I'm guessing that his assault engineers will be relatively valuable in the late game too because of their ability to repair. And yeah, then he can make himself useful to his team as well. Also, assault engineers have, well, I mean, demo chargers are useless now, but they also have some good mines, I think. And yeah, that's gonna help with the map control in the area denial. He can also get the bulldozer, which is, well, to be honest, it's just the M8A1, except it's worse at killing enemies, but it's not as squishy. That's basically that unit. So it's got the howitzer howitzer barrage, and the howitzer barrage is basically RNG town. You have some assault artillery coming down from Of Hope, and in a bit I'll be taking a look at what the players are doing overall. But yeah, for now, suffice to say that the Germans are really starting to head into the late game. We've got the Panther, we've got the Stuka, we've got this, whatever this is, but it's scary. Oh wait, is that a bombing run? Yes, it's an L2 precision bombing strike, which barely misses. Also, nice Katyusha barrage, gonna break up that formation quite a bit. Destroys one of the mortar squads, and yeah, forces all of these guys to get the hell out of there. So yes, good American and Soviet play does have a way of breaking the sort of mobile ball that Umbagan is trying to build, the mobile fortress. But it's going to be difficult because this is very well thought out, actually. He's also got a howitzer, and it's got Vet 2, so yeah, he's been doing stuff. Also, he's on counter barrage, but his counter barrage is aimed exactly at the ambulance point, so scary stuff. Wow, that was unlucky. That was some supreme unlucky RNGesus there. That should have been the death of that Easy 8. Now the second Easy 8 kills the Stug, and it's actually in a relatively good position to fight the Panther, but the Panther, yeah, gets the first shot and doesn't pen, so yeah, it's to run away. We've got, as I was saying, lots of German late game is coming in. We've got the Sturmtiger, we've got the Stuka, we've got the Panther, and we've got Jagdpanzer for 70s. Command Panzer IV also coming in from Umbagan, and that's the coronation of what he was building up towards. He's essentially keeping all of his troops together in one big ball, counting on the fact that his units are just going to be synergizing off of each other. And then he buffs them all up with the P4 while he reinforces them with his Halftrek. So that is actually really great play on his part. And I feel like as long as he can keep the overall machine working, it's going to be great. However, the problem with this play is that once one cog breaks, the whole machine falters and is not going to be that useful anymore, because guess what? If the Command Panzer IV dies, you know, once the Allies are in the late game, there's not going to be enough buffs for the German infantry to compete against perhaps, you know, lots of Allied elite infantry. Damn, that was a miss Stuka. And ooh, that's just a massacre. The Americans should just retreat. Oh my god, it goes straight into the mine. Is that going to be the wipe on the captain? No. Okay, so he's pretty lucky there. Still though, I was saying, or like maybe the Stugs get picked off and then you have no AT defense. So yes, it is a relatively effective but also fragile machine. It's kind of an obsidian sword. It's gonna cut, but it's gonna break too. So I do hope that Umbagan has kind of a backup plan. Honestly, if I were him, right now he's at almost pop cap, I would be investing in tier 4. So just in case something of mine gets destroyed, I then have tier 4. Ooh, that's a nice white phosphorus. But yeah, you can just get out. Yeah, let's take a look at everybody else's strategic situation. Someone used the phone number for his account. Yeah, probably. Really? 251 half-track has a better sight range than the 222 spotting scope? I am not too sure about that. Is that from the stats? Because I don't think it is. I don't know, man. Your 6 or 7 rear echelon wipe to stir me. So you're saying that the half-track is the best one. I'm not sure. And by the way, Lorenzo, your game is coming up next. I didn't say hi. I'm sorry. I did not see you come. Anyway, everyone's strategic situation, we have that Umbagon is doing the ball. And 513 numbers guy. The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? He's got a Panther and the Sturm Tiger. So he's going for like the elite troops, you could say. His teammate over here of Hope. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Damn. Ow. Oh, that hurt. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, I blew my nose, but I hurt myself somehow. Anyway, we have a Hope with a lot of folks, an engineer, 2 MGs, and 3 AT guns. Sorry, no, an AT gun and 2 LEIGs. So he's just basic bitch. And he's got 720 manpower with 515 fuel. So yes, I feel like he's the man that really needs to step it up for the Nazis. He's got a battle headquarters in a good position. The problem is it's getting artilleried. And yeah, so he's got all 4 of the buildings upgraded. Is he going for the... No, that's Galleon Squad. That's Galleon Squad. He's got all 4 of the buildings. And a lot of resources. So, is he going for the YAG? Let's find out. Oh, sorry, that was... This is not Hearts of Iron. If I press spacebar, it doesn't unpause. Oh, I see why he Katyusha there. That was a counter barrage, but did not nail the Sturmgewehr. And that... Of course, it's the YAG Tiger. I mean, I don't think they needed it particularly, but whatever. Then Galleon Squad, we have 2 Volksgrenadiers. Yeah, 2 Volksgrenadiers, an Obersoldan, 2 Sturms, 1 MG, 1 React Panzer 470, and 1 Stuka. So that's also a lot of fuel in the bank. But I'm guessing that he's going for the KT, considering that he is the fortifications doctrine. So no YAGs out of him. The YAG equivalent for him is going to be maybe the Pak 43. But if I were him, I would not go for the Pak 43 yet. First, because he doesn't have enough resources, obviously. But he knows that better than me. And second of all, and he also knows that probably better than me, there's just a lot of artillery on the Allied side. So let's check out the Allies. We have 3 Katyusha on the field for Kapral Chucha, who's finally putting up some harassment to the right. He's lost most of his infantry blob, only 2 Pinos and 1 guard squad left. Zurogr, we're going to check him out later. So obviously he's got tier 4 with not a lot of infantry, but some nasty artillery. He's also starting to get some T-34-85s out of his doctrine. So that's quite great. RGR, we have just a mishmash of all these different infantry units. Probably not going to be the most effective thing ever, but they can cap, so that's not bad. And he's going for Jacksons with the support of 1 M8A1. He's bringing that up to the left side to help in the push there. I'm not sure about the Allies concentrating so much force to the left, considering that they don't really have much there to take, although they might just be trying to avoid tunnel visioning over the center, which is definitely admirable. We have the second Soviet guy, John Wang. he's lost his T-34, but he went for a Katyusha instead, and now he's waiting on his resources to get that Isu-152 Zvieraboy assault gun, which is of course quite great. Shock troops and all that, you know, just kind of tells us that he's guard mortar. Sorry, not guard mortar, shock mortar, and yeah, that works out. And then we have Easy 8 Man. So in terms of the pop cap, how is it? We have 175, 100 and am I retarded? Yes, I am. 150, 235 for the Germans, more or less, and then for the Allies we have 150 plus 120, 270. So the Allies are slightly ahead. Shukas, however, have the potential to even that number out. What is this Panther doing? It should probably not go in alone. What? Hello? Panther's on hold fire! No! No! Fire! Fire, fly! Oh, that vet 5 folks grenadier. Feel bad for it. Anyway, finally the Allies moving on the right side. Gonna hit a mine and take some MG fire, but with the bulldozer on the field here, they can probably deal with that. Bulldozer, though, is not gonna like this, because here comes Jagdpanzer 470. Also, we have a bit of a fight on the left side. We have the Sturmtiger moving in and doing a nasty... Yeah, it looks like he wiped... he just wiped out the M8A1, so that's quite great. Does he? Oh wow, sorry, I smacked my microphone. Yes, he does have a vehicle kill, that's quite good. Bulldozer, still doing its job, but yeah, here comes Jagdpanzer, and it's gonna... Please, someone call the police. This is sexual assault. Oh, but sexual assault is about to come in from the other way as well. And here comes two T-34-85s at the exact last moment, but they just decide to not chase and not really press into the Jagdpanzer. We have Katyushas just falling down on this mass of Germany, and actually, in fact, we also got the Sturmtiger that's reloading. That's not good because, of course, it's... Wow, it survived. Okay, that's good. I was gonna say, it's Veterancy 1 crew did not want to die. Repstug. And as you can see now, Umbagon has no more AT. So now the Easy 8s are just like, thank you very much. I am just going to take whatever I can. Nice smoke run, but the amount of vehicles here is just congesting the road and they can't run away. But why are they not pressing the attack and finishing off the Germans? I do not know. Go ahead and destroy them. Destroy them, you motherfucker. America. Wait, he just blinded himself with the white phosphorus. Wow, he just let that opportunity to destroy the Vet 2 Ostwind go. And hello. Hello, physics. That was pretty incredibly bad. Hey, Kvass, how's it going? Jagdtiger. Zvieraboy. Bljet. Oh man, this game is gonna be long. Look at where the bar is and it's 30 minutes. Big Allied push coming on the left. We have Zvieraboy and a lot of Americans. So yeah, I think that at least this battle headquarters is going to die, but also the howitzer's in big trouble. Here comes the German equivalent of Zvieraboy, but it's in a bad position. Grenades. What? Hello? Why did I just hear, like, random shit? Did something weird just happen? Oh, hey! Thank you! Who is that? Oh, it's Joost van Dijk. Much love from Holland. Thank you very much. I don't know, the volume on that was very low, so I didn't really hear it. That's really sad. Anyway, let's continue on. By the way, did the GIF work? Because it's supposed to have a GIF. Anyway, I'll see that later. We have a big American push. Look at this shit. These are just trying to move in, but I have no idea how to describe what they're doing. They're not doing anything. So they're neither stopping to shoot, nor diving for a target, nor... Oh my god, that grenade absolutely wiped out all of the riflemen. Still, that's not going to be enough to deal with the American and Soviet armor line. So that's going to still push in and do some damage. The Sturmtiger is still barely alive. Vetri Stuka is perilously close to the American EZ-8s. We have on the right side a big push from the Soviets coming in with their T-34-85s. And I think that the Jagdpanzer's days are mostly numbered. Yep, it is going to die, and the Shermans and the T-34-85s survived that engagement. It seems like the Panzer IV is dead over here. The Command Panzer IV bites the dust, but it seems like the Veteran C2 EZ-8 will also suffer some similar fate, maybe? Who knows? Actually, no. He survives barely by the skin of his non-existent American teeth. Non-existent because he just eats too much sugar, and so they're all cariated. Which is not in English. It's just not a word. Anyway, it seems like the Germans have been hit very badly from this last engagement. So they've lost the Jagdpanzer on the right side. They've lost a lot of their positioning on the right side. There's no more mines left on this side because they've all been sort of swept by by presence. The Jagdtiger finally is able to come, you know, anywhere near the fight. It still hasn't done anything this entire time. The Sturmtiger almost died, the Stuka almost died, and those were lucky to escape. They lost the battle headquarters, they lost the crew on the first howitzer, they lost a few weapons, they lost a few infantry squads too, I'm guessing, because, yeah, Umbagan still hasn't lost anything, so that's good on him. They've almost lost the Schwerpanzer quarters and the second howitzer. And they've almost lost a Panther. So it could have been much worse for them, but it could have also been better. Katyusha's coming in. Yeah, that's a lot of kills on these Katyushas. Look at this, 21 kills on one of them. So that's doing well. 13 kills on the second one and 7, so that's 41 kills as a whole. I haven't seen them getting too many wipes, though, which is the most important thing, obviously, for artillery. But they're about to take down the Schwerpanzer headquarters. There we go. So no more Schwerpanzer headquarters of Hope, which is bad, considering that he's already purchased his Jagdtiger, which means that now, to fill up the rest of his 15 pop cap, he doesn't really have anything of late game fashion, obviously. The Germans, though, are getting to work. They're repairing all of their buildings very quickly. Despite, you know, flares and probably artillery fire is going to be coming in. They're still trying to hold on to whatever positions they have. They're trying to recruit some of what they have left around here. They've stolen an AT gun. That's quite good. Here comes a white phosphorus, just RKO out of nowhere on these Sturm Pioneers. On the right side, despite some problems, the Germans are still pushing in. And thanks to the Jagdtiger, they're able to really, send these American tanks away. Still, though, once the American tanks are sort of all repaired up and the T-34-85s are all repaired up, then they can really push in and do some damage. But here comes the other kind of Tiger. So we have all three of the OKW Tigers. We have the Sturm, the King, and the Jaeger. Oh my god, or I guess for maximum dramatic effect. Oh my goodness, here comes the artillery from the Allies. So not just, obviously, Katyushas, but also we have the Collins now. We've got the RNG artillery, which can fall anywhere in a really long area. It is the 3-1 combination over here again, but it's become a 4-1 combination for EZ8s and a Zviroboy. They're able to destroy that Panzer IV. Now they're going for the KT. The KT is very low on HP. One of the EZ8s is already dead, though. Second EZ8 just creamed by the Panther spam in the rear. Seems like the King Tiger dies without really any chance to do too much. EZ8s are also dying though to the fire of that Panther and the AT gun, which is definitely helping. Fourth EZ8 is moving in, but the Zviroboy cannot support because of all the smoke of all the destroyed tanks. So it is going to be a worthless sacrifice, and now Zviroboy has to run the hell away before he dies. Here comes a IL-2 bombing strike. No, that's not an IL-2 bombing strike. That is a white phosphorus barrage. The Zviroboy is still trying to destroy whatever is left over here with its long-range Su-152 gun, but the Panther is there to stop him. It seems like on the right side we have some definite destruction being dealt by the two Tigers. And the American armor is limping away with little HP. It seems like that, you know, at least one unit died there. And the Stuka is dead, most likely from the counter battery fire from the LEFH. Still though, probably worth it, as they were able to destroy another Schwer Panzer headquarters from Galleon squad this time, and also almost destroy the battle headquarters. They are lucky that the barrage was on cooldown for the LEFH. Otherwise, these Katyushas would have been probably stomped. Damn, that's still free Katyusha. So, despite the big loss for the Americans, the Germans are still on the back foot. They do have the units to continue the fight, but they don't really have the initiative because they keep getting pushed back and further back.
Assault engineers are on the lines and deployable. Prepare to execute.
Hello? Sure. Sturmtiger is still alive, but it's only got 8 kills. So it hasn't been the most effective unit, and it's in a bad position. It's gonna die. Because it can't run away through here because of all the trees. Now, oh god, that's a lot of American infantry. It's getting flanked. Is there any AT defense here? No, and looks like we also even have a target vehicle from Kapralchucha. So yes, this is not gonna look good. And you need to be careful with the Sturmtiger, but EZ8 is just failing. Somehow it is able to escape, but is it still enough? No, I don't think so. I don't see anything converging in to save the Sturmtiger. Although, of course, he could just buy another one. And, yeah, the loss of the EZ8. Can he buy another EZ8? No, not really. Oh, but he actually manages to get behind the Schwer Panzer quarters. Schwer Panzer quarters is going to be bombed. That also damages the EZ8. The EZ8 gets the kill, though, on the Sturmtiger, so that was pretty okay. Zviroboy is still here, getting some good shells in. We have a big allied push on the right side, and the King Tiger is going to be destroyed because of the lack of support. There's still the Jagdtiger over here trying to save it desperately. Katyusha, Stuka barrage falling down on the allied tanks. It's not going to be enough. The the Jackson, for some reason, is leading the charge against the Jagdtiger, and now it gets behind. So a Jackson behind the Jagdtiger, that's obviously not good at all. Something kills it. It's a Raketenwerfer from the rear. Then we've also got a T-3485 over here. The first T-3485 most likely just died. Vehicle button coming in from the guards, riflemen, and that allows the T-3485 medium tank enough time to get behind it. Are there any mines? Yes, but there's only that one mine. Is the Raketenwerfer enough to save it? I wouldn't think so, as by now the T-3485 is in the rear. We do have Panzerfaust potential. Mark vehicle is popped on the Jagdtiger. We've got a lot of smoke coming in, but for some reason the allied infantry decides to book it, and that's going to leave the T-34 without any support. And the smoke itself is really not coming in handy because this T-34 wants to stay behind the Jagdtiger, but it also wants to fire on the Jagdtiger. but it can't get behind it if it's firing with attack round, because attack round forces it to stand still, so it's gonna die. Then we have a T-34-76 coming in, trying to ram the Panther tank. It's not gonna be enough, and all the rest is not enough to finish it either, so the Panther here is going to survive, barely. And we have that Umagon, who hasn't been really that much of a presence in the last few minutes because of his Stugs being destroyed, is now coming back with an infantry-focused build, and yeah, he's starting to occupy areas of the left-hand side, which is obviously quite great. Quite great for the Germans. Enemies taking our territory. T-34-76 almost dies. In terms of VPs, we have that the Germans are doing quite well, actually. The Allies are down to 132, so yeah, they're really being destroyed. And look at this. Flamethrowers trying to prevent, yeah, they will prevent that AT gun from falling back into Allied hands. Nice usage of those Panzerschrecks, finishing off the T-34. And it seems like the Allies are just pushed all the way back to the base, so that's not very good for them. They're gonna try to recover the left side. It is still mostly theirs, but they need to secure these points, and to do that they need to push Umagon out. What the Allies seem to really need to do is focus on one half of the map, honestly, because by getting themselves spread out on all sides of the map, yeah, sure, they were able to get some successes, but also they suffered nasty casualties, and you can see that in the numbers here in the PopCap. Everyone mostly reduced, so we have 170, 210, 285 for the Germans, and then on the Allied side we have 135, 140, 220, 280 actually. So yeah, it's still mostly about even, but that slight lead that the Allies had earlier is gone. So yes, not very good, not very good. Ha 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 ha. That grenade though.
We just lost a unit.
And the Germans, despite all the problems and all the losses and all the, you know, damn, that's a Bet 5 Stuka. 57 kills. And all the pressure, they're still holding their ground. Like, you can see that their main defensive line, which is running about here, is still going strong. So yes, that's something that the Allies are going to need to breach in at least one point, so that they can unbalance the rest. Whereas if this continues going the way it is, well, the Germans can always just rely on this fallback line as they push towards the center. They can keep the right side and they can harass the left. So their strategy is obviously going to be hold the right, contest the center, harass left, which can work out quite well. In terms of armored forces, they're going to start to become more and more important as the game goes on. So we have 2 free Panthers, although one of them is going to die. Please run away. Oh, so close for that majority to actually be useful for once. So we have 3 Panthers plus a KT plus 1 more unit, a Jagdtiger, and probably a second KT coming. No, Galleon Squad 1 for the Panther. Versus, well, we'll see what versus that is. That KT is dead. That's not very good. Versus 1 EZ8. We have 2 Jacksons, 2 Shermans, Zviera Boy, and 3 T-34-85. So actually the Germans are very much below the Allies, and they lose another Panther. Although there is this Panzerschreck squad, it's in a great spot to deal some damage. It's also spotting for the Jagdtiger, so this is deceptively kind of good for the Allies. They're taking damage as the fight is progressing. Luckily for them, they are able to make everything retreat for the Germans, and actually the Jagdtiger is in a bad spot. Here comes the T-34-85s. Can they get behind there? No, don't hesitate. With the T-34-85s, you cannot hesitate when you're going in, especially against enemy TDs. You either want to go in or go home. And right now, he did neither, and he's gonna pay for that, probably with the life of one of his T-34 85s. And it was the veteran C201, so that's even worse. We have a couple of Shermans moving about on the left-hand side. Not sure what they're doing, but that was a very, very bad loss. You know, he could have gone in and he would have sacrificed a couple or maybe even all of his T-34 85s, but he would have killed the Jagdtiger. He's got 570 munitions, so that means that he can mark vehicle for days, honestly, and still have enough munitions. So yeah, that's obviously, you know, that's obviously the thing. And looks like these Shermans are going for Umagan's base, which perhaps is not the best idea ever. Hey, Freezing Dude. Okay, the gift works. Great. Yep, someone did just donate. +1 rep. You can donate too. #sellout. Got a nice 2v2 competitive replay for you. Send it in. See you used. Have a good meal. Although, I mean, he's from the Netherlands, so it's probably like marsh potato. And, yeah, Major Hardy seems quite strong at taking down houses. It's not that strong at doing anything else, though. That's the problem. Really now? I never added you on Steam, K-Pen? Well, I mean, okay. What's your name on Steam? Is it just K-Pen97? Why did you have to tell me this in the middle of the stream? Let's see if I can do that from here. Find people. K-Pen97. No, not K-Pen9. K-Pen97. Need to find the first Australian faggot on this list. Yes, it is. It is him. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Anyway, coming back in, we have, yeah, what we were saying earlier. Germans slowly but surely coming back and taking back the initiative, but still taking some nasty punishment along the way, losing some heavy units. Oh my god, why did these Shermans go to the base? I don't understand. They could have gone around, honestly they were in a great position to do something meme. They could have gone around and tried to destroy the howitzer, which has 35 kills. One of the Shermans is dead. Second Sherman is dead. So that was just a waste of 2 Shermans. So yes, that armor balance that we were talking about, completely different now. I mean, only 2 Panthers left for the Germans, but they are veteran. We have the Jagdtiger, and then we have nothing. So it's really kind of scant on this side, but on the other side, we still have 3 T-34-85s. Then we have 1 EZ-8, because another one died apparently. Then we have Zviera Boy and 2 Jacksons, so a little bit scanter than before. Oh no, Jagdtiger is gonna die. Or, well, I mean, oh no, maybe on your perspective, it depends if it's a no-no or a no-yes. And yes, destroy the Jagdtiger. Because I dislike this unit and I like to see it die. Come on. Yes, there we go. Panthers, they're trying to get the flank off, and they're gonna destroy this Zviera Boy, along with the Zeering artillery, actually, I think this is. And that could be devastating. Yes, it is a Zeering artillery. Lots of damage coming down, actually hitting the Panther as well as the enemy. Oh my god, absolutely wiping out all the American armor in the area. So that was devastating. And also, we have some random artillery falling in over here. That's probably the howitzer from the base. We have a lot of Katyushas in the rear ready to fire or still reloading. One of the Jacksons goes down, so a lot of losses for the Allies. In the meantime, the Soviet has been doing not too much by capturing the left-hand side, sorry, the right-hand side. I'm reversing the camera. So, slowing the VP bleed, which is obviously quite important and good, but probably shouldn't have sent in all of his tanks while there was a big armor fight going on. And yeah, that does mean that locally the Germans are 4v3, and 4v3 means that the 4 usually win. So despite all of their setbacks, the Germans still have that VP advantage, and the Allies with 53 VPs left are in a bad position because they are pretty much forced to give up caution and really go in balls deep for those VPs. And once you go in balls deep for the VPs, it can get bad. What's dropping down here? Oh, it's an RNG artillery. Are they capping the mid as well? This could be a triple cap. That could be very bad. Oh, actually, Half-Track moves in behind with some Panzerschrecks. That was obviously going for the Katyushas. That was a great play from Umbagan. And actually, in fact, his opponent wasn't really paying too much attention, but luckily he had the shock troops supporting him. But, nicely well done, sees that there is no AT defense and moves in Zipanfa and destroys one of the Katyusha. Almost destroys the Jackson. Umbagan says, bye-bye, my only friend. Maybe, who knows. Actually, there's more Katyusha, so yeah. Not the only friend. Still, though, that's pretty good. Great play with the Half-Track. Definitely worth losing a Half-Track for a Katyusha, honestly. So you can just continue doing that. Just rebuild the Half-Track. And if you want to use it as a reinforcement platform, good. If you want to use it as something else, good. So yeah. Vet 5 MG44 doing its job. Not really much else happening on the map right now. Vet 5 57 kill Stuka. Also kind of waiting for a target. The allied armies are really starting to deteriorate, though. Like, if you see, they don't really have much infantry left. How are the Germans looking on that? Some infantry, lots of infantry, not that much, and some. So yeah, they're not deteriorating quite nearly as badly. There's a bunker here. Okay, so guess that's an emergency unit. Sherman's trying to push into the German base area. Not gonna work. We have a KT coming in from Numbers Man. And, oh, is that gonna be the end of Vet 2? Yep, Vet 2, Sherman is dead.
We just lost a medium tank.
Oh, big T-34 push. Is this going to be the big Allied push to end it all? I mean, okay, so here comes the T-34-85s trying to get in. One of them is going to die just instantly. That was 5 T-34-85s. They don't really get that much done, but they do have the marked vehicle on this Panther. One of the Panthers dies, and they can really chase down the second one from Umbagan. We've also got another Zvira boy that can come in and do its job. In the meantime, Galleon Squad's Königstiger and Numbers Man's Königstigers are a little bit too far away from the action, but the T-34-85s lost their chance of really pushing their advantage on the Panther here. So it's only going to be one Panther on one T-34-85 in terms of sacrifices and trade. It's okay, but it's not the best, and yeah, that still leaves the Germans with a scary armored force that they can use. If they had been able to take down that second one, it would have been a lot better. Jagdtiger is back and, you know, ready for revenge, but this unit is kind of annoying. Big Stuka barrage coming in on the middle. Not really doing the best. Big T-34-85s, though, are coming in for the base. And they're gonna meet 4 Panzerschrecks all locked up and ready to go. Although, they make themselves known by walking into the strategic point. Never do this, because now the Germans know that they're coming. And they swing around. They swing around because they want to flank, I do not know what. I mean, they do flank one of these AT guns. And they probably can destroy artillery number 1 and artillery number 2 before anything else comes in. But they need to move with speed. Why are they stopping? Oh no, they stop and they go away. What did you accomplish? You defeated one AT gun, and now your cards have been revealed, you know? Not the Germans know that you can do that, and you're gonna try to do that. So the Germans are probably gonna be a lot more careful about their left flank, probably placing down some mines and getting some AT guns hidden up in here to protect that flank. And all that you've done is revealed the possibility of that play to the enemy. Instead, what they could have done is they could have really pushed in heavily with the T-34-85s, destroyed artillery piece number 1, destroyed artillery piece number 2, and perhaps even gone for the Stuka. They would have lost all of the T-34s, but it would have been a very, very strong play to deal with the enemy artillery and let the beleaguered Allied infantry have stand a higher chance of actually winning these engagements and taking map control, which at this point the Allies really need because they're down to 42 VPs. So yeah. White phosphorus, okay choice. That's gonna let this captain cap, but he does not let the captain finish capping. Katyusha barrages coming in, trying to disrupt the German defensive line. We have a big blob push coming in from RGR. Is that going to be enough? Probably not, because it's unsupported infantry push. Here comes finally the Jacksons to help it out, but there is the Jagdtiger, so those Jacksons are going to be countered. In the meantime, we have the T-34-85 Horde, just trying to, mass up and charge, but it still needs to find a target. Needs to be careful, obviously, because when you have a hammer, everything kind of starts looking a bit like a nail, but perhaps it is not a nail, and, you don't want to hit it. Or perhaps it is a nail. It's just in the other direction, and instead of hitting the hammer on it, you hit your hand on it, and you hurt yourself a lot. I'm not sure what that analogy was supposed to... That was a great Stuka barrage. Oh my god, all of the infantry for Captain Chuba is dead. All of it except 2 men and 1 engineer. 71 kills for the Stuka Zufus. Jagdtiger. Yeah, I don't see the Allies really putting in much of a coordinated effort to push. They're gonna lose 1 Jackson. Now the T-34s are coming in, however. Can they turn the tide of this battle? They're gonna, again, just move in and stop instead of moving in and continue moving in. They could have gone behind all of these Nazi heavy tanks and destroyed them. Instead, they stop and they deal with a couple of support weapons, which is like, sure, fine, but at this point, the game is up. You've lost the element of surprise, and now your tanks are kind of stuck in a road jam, traffic jam. Yeah, look at that. Heavy losses. 1 T-34-85 dead. 2 T-34-85s most likely dead. Maybe. Who knows? Come on. No. Lucky. Perhaps not too much. Here comes Panther. Come on, Panther. Hits the other one. Damn, the Panther's dumb. And yeah, so he's lucky, but if he hadn't been lucky, he would have lost 3 of them. He loses only 2 of them. Still, that's bad. Jackson dies, and that's the end of the Allied armored force on the right. Only Zviera-Boy is left, but Zviera-Boy is countered himself by the Jagdtiger. What is this Jackson doing? There's a lot of things that the Allies could do to get behind this Jagdtiger and really do a lot of damage, but they're not really doing it. We have a Panzer IV out from Galleon Squad. I actually wholeheartedly agree with this decision because most of the problems are coming from the infantry rather than the vehicles. Like, yeah, sure, the vehicles are annoying, but if the Axis can hold onto the VPs, Look at this, the allies are down to 30 VPs. So yeah, even with a double cap, we are gonna see essentially like a minute and a half of time left for the Germans if they are double capped. Or sorry, not for the Germans, for the allies. They are about to get a triple cap, but is that gonna be enough? Let's take a look at the situation one more time before the end. Damn, this game is just being a bit of a, you know, bit of a endurance test, you could say. And I am hoping that you're all enjoying. Thank you, I am Boyan. I am trying your best. And, yeah, I will message you, K-Pen. King Tiger with heat ammo is not bad. Yeah, the email is in the description. On a normal video, though, because actually, yeah. Yeah, I should be adding it to the stream as well. Anyway, he doesn't really care about the losses anymore. Armor Company Erger has my respect. Anyway, taking a look at the situation overall. Man, my jaw is hurting from all this talking. So we've got Umbagan with German mechanized doctrine. And he's got a lot of fuel, obviously, because he's gone for an infantry-heavy build. Look at that Vetfree Panther just being the linchpin, the anchor of everything else. He's got his half-track that can help reinforce, that can help quickly transport either the 2 Panzerschreck squads or the 2 MG squads to the action. And this is a different icon for the MG. I am thinking... Oh wow, okay, so this squad has a BAR and an MG42, whereas this squad has an LMG34 and an MG42, I think. So that is really dangerous. Yeah, look at that, these Grenadiers are scary as hell. Oh my god! Holy shit! 99 kills between them on 2 Grenadier squads. Holy fucking balls, man. That's some kills. And yeah, so that's what he's doing. King Tiger on him, plus artillery piece. Although that's a stolen artillery piece. Obviously, he's also got an artillery piece. 37 kills. Then we've got 9 kills on this one. So he's the guy that brings in the heavy armor, and then maybe he's going to have another Sturm Tiger once he has enough resources. We've got support gunman over here, plus just miscellaneous infantry, plus the Jagd Tiger. 700 fuel, obviously, because why the hell not? A couple of elite squads, 64 kills. Man, oh my god. 75 kills on the Stuka, King Tiger, and Panzer IV. So Germans, at this point, they've lost most of their infantry force. They're kind of relying on Umbagan to get that infantry top shape, really, to get that map control. And that's probably most of the reason why they have been losing the map control to the Nazis. Sorry, not to the Nazis, to the Forces of Freedom. Then on the right side, for the Allies, actually no, first I'm gonna like note down how much pop cap they have, so that I don't have to calculate it on the fly. We have 90 plus 60, so 150. Then 222. Then 222, then 301. So we have 301 on this side versus, well, we'll see later. So we have Erger over here with a couple of Jacksons, Sherman, and then just a miscellaneous bunch of troops. He's probably the reason why all these units have so many kills on the German side, because look at his infantry quality, it's just terrible, except for the lieutenant, which has 31 kills. All his other guys are just like random collections of engineers and whatever he can scrounge up. Vehicle crews with Thompsons, you know, effective enough at keeping map control, but probably going to die a lot to Obersoldaten. So he's okay, but except for the heavy AT of the Jacksons, he doesn't really have his own identity and role. We have 5 T-34-85s again from Caporal Chucha. He can get himself some extra guards to stay afloat with the infantry, but again, only one infantry squad. Couple of infantry in terms of shock troops, then the Isu-152. He's lacking repair, so his Isu-152 is at half HP, which is bad considering what is about to come his way. And then we have Zurogr with M8A1 and 1 EZ8. And a couple of infantry squads. So the Allies also are having some infantry problems, but their pop cap is a lot more balanced rather than being so tank-centric, right? Because most of the German pop cap is spent on their tanks, and especially their heavy tanks. So if the Germans can keep a compact front and move forward, they're going to win, because their late game moves are just going to overwhelm the enemy. But if they get their tanks picked off one by one, they're going to lose, because they're going to lose most of their eggs that were put into a single basket. In terms of pop cap, the Allies are at so 87, then 83, so that's 170. Then we have okay, so 220, 218 to be exact, and then we have 277. So yeah, the Germans are just a 10th ahead, but pretty much not that bad. Hello, 2 girls, 1 Chuck. Umugan was afraid that the T-34 would rush into the base. Yeah, I would be afraid too, to be honest, considering what the man over here was doing earlier. Honestly, I'm surprised no Teller mines were placed, but that's probably due to a sort of lack of micro and a lack of time for the engineers, because he barely has enough munitions for a few Teller mines. But yeah, I'm guessing that he's busy elsewhere, and his engineers are also busy elsewhere. Just means there's a Teller mine in the middle of the German base. Well, oh yeah, right. Okay, I see. That's not a terrible decision, actually. I do like the idea of putting them in there, but it would also put them like over here and maybe one over here. That GIF is great. Oh, someone followed. Thank you, 2 girls, 1 Chuck. Yeah, I did not realize it because I took off my headset because, you know, I was getting I was getting a headache from all the music. Anyway, yeah, 4v4 casts, man. 4v4 casts. Still fighting. Yeah, you do love the Russian bear, do you? Or maybe, I'm not sure if the one that 2 girls, 1 Chuck did, you know, follow on Twitch, is the Russian bear just running through the mall, or the Soviet Union Simpsons thing. I'm not sure. Whatever. So we have Mark vehicle actually going down on the Vet-3. Zviera Boy is dead from that half-track. Look at that half-track. I do love that, but he loses the Vet-3 Panther, so that's not very good. Tried to use that smoke bomb to save himself, but it wasn't good enough. So yeah. Five T-34-85s destroying the 1P4, obviously. And yeah, now the T-34-85s are coming in. So I think this is the final push for the T-34-85s. The problem is, where are the other allies? I don't see them. Here's the Jackson not doing anything. Here's the EZ8 not doing anything. And so as you can see, the T-34-85s are just moving in and being aggressive, but they're taking heavy damage. At this point, I would just retreat if I were them, but they're not doing that. I'm not sure why. They're just letting themselves be boxed in when they're low in HP, and they could have just run away, but no, they decide to do some weird stuff instead. Luckily for them, the Jagd and the KT are kind of afraid of something, probably the Jacksons and the other units. coming in from the flank, from the left side, to really push in that advantage. These three T-34s are still moving in, doing what they can to harass Galleon Squad. They destroy the Schwerer, sorry, not the Schwerer, the mechanized regiment. But, hello, I am a KT. I am a KT, and a KT that is supported by a Schwerer Panzer Headquarters. One of the T-34s eats a Panzerfaust, so it's gonna be pretty much dead, I'd say. Also, the other ones retreat through the fire of this anti-tank gun, so yeah, this T-34-85 is dead for no reason. Axis still getting pushed back from the center, but the shock troops are not able to push in really fully and cap that point. We've got a 2-0 capping situation in terms of the VPs. So the Allies are actually draining the Germans at a rate of 2 every 3 seconds, so that's not good. Second T-34-85 is going to die, and that's obviously pretty damn bad. Jacksons decide to charge in for no reason, and actually, no, never mind. There wasn't no reason. They're somehow able to destroy the KT, most likely thanks to the precision, sorry, the Mark vehicle. Okay, I thought it was going to be the precision bombing strike. But no, the Mark vehicle, along with the Jacksons popping the HVAP rounds, was able to destroy the KT. One Jackson bit the dust in that, so 2 T-34-85s and 1 Jackson lost for the price of a KT. And that's okay, but again, the VP game right now is so competitive. Here comes the cap on the right side. But the Germans are down to 30. Sorry, not the Germans. The Allies are still down to 30. The Germans are down to 95. So each side is kind of scrambling up to get the VPs. The center VP, we have a slightly better situation for the Germans over here with this KT and the suppression platforms being around here. We've also got a lot of artillery falling down on the Allied field for the Germans. In the meantime, however, the right side, while it may be controlled by the Germans for now, is definitely dangerous for German infantry to tread because of all this anti-infantry Allied armor that's in here. You know, the bulldozer, Sherman, and all that. The Jagdtiger is trying desperately to defend and get some fire down on these tanks. I think this Jackson is going to die. It's Vet 2, but that's not going to save it if the Tiger fires again. It will not fire again, but guess who will be firing? It's the Panzerschrecks. Here they come. Will they be in range? No. No. They are in range to fire on the T-34-85s, but that's not nearly enough engine damage, so, well, at least they will probably have enough. No? They do not go in. Aw, I would have done that. I would have gone in there and destroyed the T-34-85. Oh well. Jagdpanzer 470 actually decides to come in and try to hunt them down. Centers being recapped by Germans. It's neutral again, so now we're back to square one. 73 to 30, but neutral everything. And Numbers Man is moving in with a couple of squads to try to defeat whatever is defending here, but it's going to be difficult because it's a vet-free stolen MG42 with 10 kills. So yeah, KT also moving in. Zviera Boys trying desperately to fight the Beast and slay it, but is that going to work? He's getting support from an Easy 8. Here comes the Mark vehicle, so, oh wow, he missed with the bunker piercing round or whatever it is. So that's incredibly unlucky. Wait, no, he's still using the bunker. He's now using the bunker piercing round, which worked out quite well. He's loaded in armor piercing. Can he finish him off? He does not have the line of sight. That's incredibly unlucky. More white phosphorus falling down on the center. The Germans are trying desperately to cap it while the Allies cannot allow the Germans to have it. Or, I mean, at least maybe they can, because now they're capping right with their troops. We've got some zeroing artillery falling down from Galleon Squad. That is an excellent usage because they do want this Allied stuff to just go away from here. They just want to make them stop and run away. They're recapping center though. Germans trying to cap left side is actually going to work because the Oberstdorf getting the grenade on the MG did a lot of damage. So that's probably going to be enough. No, because they managed to suppress them before they die. And so the shock troops with the LMG-34 are going to come in and take it out. Something got wiped out on the right side. I think it was the major squad. But now the Allies are capping right. They're capping left. Center still really contested, but it seems like that at least is going to go to the Germans. Big fight on the right. T-34 goes down. Jagdpanzer 470 tries to move in to prevent the Allies from destroying the Jagdtiger, but the Jagdtiger is very heavily damaged, so I don't think it's going to be back in the fight anytime soon, and anytime soon is exactly when the Allies need that Tiger in the fight, considering that the Axis, because they're down to 62 points. So even with a single cap, it's going to be 3 minutes left of game time before they lose by VPs. So the Allies barely keeping the hold on the game, but I don't know. So we've got the Germans pushing in for the center. How many more forces can both sides conjure up? It seems like the Allies are just slightly healthier. This is not scientific assessment, though. It is just what it seems like it. Sierra Boy dies to the Panther. Another Panther. That was great. This allows the KT over here to come back around, probably, and get in the fight. And it should be coming in and getting stuck in, because honestly, the Germans need whatever support they can get. At this point on the right side, we have another Panther from Umbagon. He's moving in with the half-track transport, getting those Panzerschrecks firing on the bulldozer. That's obviously quite good, because now the bulldozer is very low. They can cap the right side, but there's a triple cap going on for the Germans. The Sturmpioneers are desperately trying to put a halt to that, but they're losing VPs, hemorrhaging them like, you know, like a stuffed pig. And yeah, now they're down to 16. That's still 2 points every 3 seconds, so that's 36 seconds of game time left for the Germans. They're finally taking the right side with the Grenadiers, and that's Umbagon's mobility coming into play at the last possible second, moving in his forces quickly on the right side with the half-track and the Panther, and he's able to take the right side with 4 VPs left for the Germans, and it's almost neutral. There's 1 VP left of advantage for the Allies. They're capping the center, though. The German tanks are able to just pick off all these idle Allied tanks that can't defend themselves. On the right side, Sherman dies. The Panther is heavily damaged, but the Germans have the VP. Center VP is taken by the Nazis. We have a counterattack coming in from Ergeher with his, sprint ability from whatever that is. That's the veteran officers getting the sprint ability. There's 1 VP left for the Germans. 26 VPs left for the Allies. 25. Stuka Barrage absolutely tries to obliterate all the Allies, but it's not enough. And now the Allies have local superiority. But is it enough? We have a vet-free machine gun just barely holding on to life. No, he dies to the major artillery. And that's the end of the German presence in the center, I'd say. They need something to come around on the left side and take it. It is these Obersoldaten. The Obersoldaten need to come in here and get the cap, but it's not gonna be enough, I don't think. I think that that's the end, and the game is gonna go to the Allies. But big artillery strike prevents the enemy from capturing the center. There's just 2 riflemen left capping here, and the tanks could just dismount the crews. The Sturmpioneers are trying to get in there to stop it, and they just barely managed to get in there at the last possible second, and they wipe out all the Americans. And then here comes the Panzerschrecks from the side, destroying all the Allied tanks. And that's 2 full squads that can get into the action and get stuck in there. Why the hell are these guys not coming in for this VP? I have no idea. They're then trying desperately to cap the center, the Allies are. They did make an attempt on the right side as well. And here comes also a Guards rifleman, but it's not enough because of the MG. And that's the end for the Allies, is it? I don't see anything that the Allies can do right now, because here comes an MG here. And there's Katyusha Barrage, but is it gonna be enough? No, it's still neutral. So now it's the lieutenant moving in, and there's 2 T-34-85s trying to deal with the anti-infantry units here desperately. The Obersoldaten actually got into the building to defeat the machine gun. That's actually hilariously smart. Can, however, he remember that he did that and then come in and cap? Yes, he can. He's got the Volksgrenadiers coming in. Smoke is coming in on the center for some reason. I have no idea what's happening here. But it seems like from just, you know, from impression that the Allies are weaker here and the balance of power is in favor of the Germans. because the Jagdtiger plus the Panther were able to destroy all the American and Soviet armor, and we have the German infantry pulling through and getting the cap. You know, they've cleaned up every allied unit that is in here. Some kind of artillery is falling down desperately, but is it enough? I don't think so. So after calling it about 6 times, this time I am quite certain that it is the Germans that are gonna take the game. In fact, I'm so sure that I'm gonna speed forward and let it go. What the hell was that? Oh my